I'm Ken Andrews, founder, music director, and conductor for the Orchestra of Northern New York. And I'm here with my very special guest for this week, Jennifer Kessler. Jen is not only assistant concertmaster for the Orchestra of Northern New York, she's professor of music education at the Crane School of Music and a member of the Carriage House Quartet, as well as being concertmaster for the Northern Lights Orchestra, and so many more things. Thank you for being here, Jennifer.
My pleasure.
Thank you for being. I just want to ask, before we talk about the orchestra a little bit, I'm curious about your background. Was violin the first instrument that you started with?
Violin was not the first instrument I started with. When I was very young, I started on piano. My mother is a pianist, and I think that's how that began.
How old were you when you started piano?
Oh, I'm gonna say 7 or 8, something like that. There used to be an old music store. I grew up in Potsdam called Calipari's, and that's where I was taking lessons. And then my mother tried to teach me, but that was pretty rough. So that didn't end well.
They always say that parents teaching their own kids on it can be tough. And so when did you decide to take up violin? Or was violin the first string instrument that you started with?
I started violin at 11, which is sort of late, I guess. But I started the violin because when I was 11, I transferred to a public school, the public school system. I had gone to a Catholic school for 6 years, and I found out that they offered instrumental lessons in the middle school where I was going to attend. And
where was this?
Potsdam.
Oh, right.
This was in Potsdam. Right. And a long time before that, probably when I was 4, a family member had given us a violin that sort of sat in the attic. And when it was time to choose a stringed instrument, that's what I chose. And we pulled the one down that was sitting around, and it was the accurate size at the time. And the rest is history. And I took to it. I loved it.
Fantastic.